Hello and welcome to Dreams of Wings. And if we can just have a moment here, because I got to confess, if you saw the Old Buckenham video that I did earlier in the week, it had been some time since I'd flown the Spitfire. It sounds like I'm making excuses, and I am. But I was quite shocked at how bad my approaches and landings were in the Spitfire. There once was a time where I could do a nice curved approach and I felt like I could nail that landing and put the aircraft exactly where I wanted it to be on 3 points, no problem at all. And I thought, wow, I have completely lost it. I have completely lost it. So um, I knew I had to do some practice. And I thought, what better way to practice than in the public eye to humiliate and punish myself? I've even got I've got my flying jacket on, and where is it? There it is. No, get the right one. There we go. The Spitfires.com patch. And that there, you can't really see because the chair's in the way. That's Gilda. And that is what we are going to be flying today. There she is on the left-hand side. And on the right-hand side, there she is in the burning blue design scenery. I was very lucky to get a chance to go up in the real Gilda some years ago and had a chance to fly her. They didn't let me land her. They're very sensible. So I've got quite an attachment to her, and I've been here a few times. She's got a new paint job now, so she does not like this anymore. But she's a rather special Spitfire to me. So I fly this livery by Bomber 12th in the sim most of the time, just because it is particularly pretty. So what are we going to be doing today, apart from me making an absolute arse of myself? And do you know, I'm not worthy to wear this flying jacket. I haven't earned it yet. I haven't earned it. Until I can actually fly the Spitfire to an acceptable standard, I don't think I should wear it. Plus also it's getting bleeding hot in here. Good God. Yeah, let me show you. See if I can get this to work. Let's go to that screen. There we go. It's working. Okay, so what we're going to do is take off from Goodwood, fly over to Leon Solent, across to Compton Abbas, which is one of the prettiest little aerodromes. But I won't be able to take time to think of the scenery. Let's take off the aircraft. There we go. It's beautifully located on the top of a hill. I'm sure you know it very well. If you don't, you're in for a treat. But I'll be concentrating on flying, of course. And then across to Popham. For some reason, Popham psychologically in a warbird, in a Cessna or a tricycle undercarriage, or a more stable aircraft, Popham isn't too much of an issue. But I don't fly to Popham much, but I have found that, and I don't know why, there's something psychological about the approach. So that's going to be a little bit hairy. And then, of course, we'll come back to Goodwood. That gives us a good opportunity to get some practice in. I'm not going to be doing touch and goes. I think you can do touch and goes in the Spitfire. It's not an aircraft that's designed to bash circuits, but what I'm going to be doing is full stop landings and then takeoff. So I'm getting a chance to do a proper full stop landing and a proper takeoff. And that's what it's going to be about, basically. That is it in a nutshell. Muzzy, how are you doing? Good to see you in the chat. Wow. That works. Chris, thank you ever so much. Nice to have you on board, sir. Right, I'm going to just put in here, I remember. We have a Discord. I'm not going to waffle on about it, but I've just put a link to it in the chat. I know I'm not just talking for the sake of putting off humiliating myself, but here we go. Okay, let's jump in the cockpit. Let's just get a few things sorted out. So I went to check my collective lever then. Oh no, you've been doing too much of that, sunshine, and that's why you've got in the mess you have. Right, let's just check. I did check these before, but you never know. So physical controls, yes, that's all good. That's all matched up. What I have got a really nice authenticate throttle quadrant and trim wheels, and unfortunately because my computer died a few weeks ago, there's a lot of stuff that I haven't set up yet, and I've still got to set those up. But that is that's next on my list, because flying the Spitfire with that and that next to you is so immersive. It's just is amazing. Okay, right. Let's not put off the inevitable any longer. Yeah, I was really quite shocked. It was atrocious, and that's the only way I can say it. It's very much a case of I talk about it a bit in helicopters, but it's kind of getting in the zone. And with a curved approach with the Spitfire, because you've got this great big nose in front. If you're watching this, I know you know this anyway. But if you're doing an approach with a great big nose in front like this, you can't just do that kind of standard coming in straight from miles away. You've got to kind of curve it in so that you can look out and you can see where the runway is. And judging that so that you land or you hit the runway at the right place at the right speed with the right attitude and all that sort of thing is something that you can get into the zone of doing, but I'm very much out of the zone of doing, so that's why we're doing this. Right, so what have we done? So we've got prop fully forward, we've got mixture fully rich, that's all good. Let's have the fuel cock on. Now in 2024 the animation for the fuel pump isn't working, so we have to go off this light here. So if I just keep clicking it, eventually that will go off. So just bear with me. What's really exciting is that Flying Iron are working on a 2024 native version of the Spit with some improvements and extra features, so I'm really excited about that. There we go. So we pumped up the jams, that light has gone out. Quick look around, that's all good. Okay, right, let's have mags on. Actually, let's have mags off for the moment. Let's prime it. So we'll give her 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Leave it unlocked for the time being, just in case. Now we can have the mags on, and now we can start the engine. I'll shut up so you can hear it. There we go, good start. Good start. Let's lock the mixture. Lock the prime, you idiot. Mixture's over there, left and right. Okay, that's all good. Let's bring back. There we go. Right, so wind is 12 knots from 226. So I'm going to take, we'll take runway 24, I think. Seems like the best thing to do. Yeah, we'll take runway 24. Right, quick look at the chat. Swimming Club, just joined the stream. From the title it just says MSFS. I think this is 2024, so I'll be interested. It is 2024. Have I just put MSFS in? Have I? Let's have a look. I don't know if I can do this on the fly. If you're still with me, hopefully it's worked. So I've just, yeah, you're absolutely right. I've just added 2024. I've appended it, so it's on there now. Right, quick look at the temperatures. Let's not hang about. I've closed the hatch, but it's just on the latch, so it doesn't slide forward. See, I'm doing it again. I'm grabbing my collective lever like that's going to do anything. Forget the collective, dude. You're in a Spitfire now. Right. Brakes are working, that's all good. Say goodbye to everybody. Sorry, me and Kip will be back before breakfast. So we're just going to tootle on down here. Watch out for the cones. How's the sound, by the way? I want you to hear the engine, but when I was flying helicopters the other night, people were saying that the helicopter was too loud, so I've turned down the sim volume in my setting, but I don't know if you can hear the engine, because that's what it's about. That is what it's about. Right, let's come round here. That elliptical wing, isn't it beautiful? Keep it coming. This is where having head tracking or VR is really handy, that you can actually properly stick your head out the window and see where you're going. Because we've got a lot of fair amount of space, I'm not necessarily doing S-turns, but oh, I just realised I've just overcooked that a little bit. Let's come back round here. Yeah, I do want to come back round here. Do want to encroach the runway. Okay, cheers swimming club, that's what I did wonder. So I'm going to bring it round here. See the runway over there, and let's just bring that up a bit. Cheers, mother. Well, hopefully that's a bit better. I've just turned the engine up a bit. Now I am on multiplayer, so I've got to be a little bit careful that I'm not going to ruin someone's day by getting in their way. So I'm just going to do a quick engine run up. Okay, right. Oh, that's interesting. Let's have the fuel pump on. There we go. And let's have the veto heat on. Not the idiot, wrong one. Actually, where is the temperature? No. Actually, no. I'm going to use the manual radiator flat for the time being. So stick back. Mag check. Cycle prop. Three of them, all good. Let's come back on the engine. Hey Hads, how you doing? Swimming Club, I am wondering if the scenery has active cars running on the Goodwood racetrack. It certainly does. It certainly does. Right, just putting in a bit of nose down trim. It certainly does, and you might even see one. I thought I saw one out the corner of my eye just before, but maybe I'm just imagining things. Come on. Round we come. Round we come. How's that looking? Right, okay, quick check, I'm on the right runway, that's a good start. That's all good, quick look down here, everything's fine, not done anything silly there. All good, all good. Okay, so stick back into the right. Now let's have some power. Use the brakes. God, I did it again. I just went for the collective lever. Ooh. That was a nasty little pause then. I know Goodwood used to have an issue with that around about the midpoint, but I must admit I thought it might just be an odd glitch that wasn't in 2024, so I need to have a look at that. Right, what do we need to do? We need to do that, close the hatch. Okay, quickly down, so I've just come back on the RPM, that's okay, temperatures are fine, let's put the radiator to automatic. trim a little bit. I love the Spitfire, but I don't deserve it. Okay, how's it feeling now? A little bit more trim. Honestly, the muscle memory, it's ridiculous. I keep going for the damn collective lever. Crazy. Yeah, swimming club. When we come back to Goodwood, if you're still around, we'll do a little recce circuit. You might well see a racing car, but they do have them on there. And if you've got helicopters, it's that word again. If you've got helicopters, you can do some pretty cool. You know, you can fly around the cars, chase the cars. Right, let's have a look outside. Gorgeous. What a wonderful aeroplane. How could I have neglected her, eh? How could I have neglected her? Flight Sim Fire, do you set right rudder trim before takeoff? Do you know what? I don't in the Spitfire, if I'm honest. I do in the Mustang, certainly in the A2A Mustang in P3D, always did. But in the Spitfire, I only ever just put a bit of a bit of down nose trim in, and I've never really bothered with rudder trim. It's just a force of habit now, if I'm honest. There is obviously in the Mark 9 there's a fair old bit of torque compared to the Mark 1 in P3D, the good old A2A one, but yeah, it's never been something I've done. Okay, so we're going to go down to Leon Solent. I'm just checking on the map that I'm pointing in the right direction. Yeah, I've got. I'm using 2020 as well. I'm trying to use 2024 as much as I can, but there are some things that you just have to go back to 2024. I like the more detailed world of 2024. There's so much more detail in the scenery that, especially for flying helicopters, that I really enjoy it. But yeah, there are just some things that 2020 are working better, as we all know, really. And I'm certainly no technical expert who is going to spend hours trying to fiddle with 2024 to get it sorted. I mean, there's still little things like I just saw one there, seems to have gone, these kind of black tile lines that you sometimes get in water. That was an issue in 2020, but I've noticed still here in 2024. I wonder if I can trigger one again. We just come round Portsmouth here. I can see one. Oh, there's one just there in the water. Just going to say hello to the Royal Navy. Check. Get back on the RPM a little bit more. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. The detail is just amazing in 2024. Hey Chinook, how you doing? Good to see you, mate. Not helicoptering today. Punishing yourself. Right, okay. First thing we need to do is Leon Solent. So looking at the wind. 14, so we're going to have to take runway 23, and I think we're going to have a bit of a crosswind, which is kind of cool, because that's good practice, but kind of sucky from the point of view it's going to make it difficult. Look at the detail in that scenery, it's just absolutely insane. Anyway, we're not here to look at the scenery. We're here to learn. Right, let's get a few things. So, get a good position in the seat. Let's just centre the head tracking again. So we'll do a run-in brake, and then come round, and we will do a landing. Let's see how bad it is. So I'm going to try and pretend you're not there for a moment. Don't think I'm rude. A little bit bumpy there. So, got a little bit too high there. Straight away I can feel that. I was too busy doing other things. So we'll lose some of that height. You can dump the gear now. Bit of trim, watch the speed. A little bit too low now. A lot of turbulence. A lot of strange turbulence. It makes me wonder if this is actually something else. Let's have a look. It certainly doesn't feel right. Maybe it is just turbulence. Shut up. Shut up and concentrate. Right, let's dump the flaps. It's just like big dirty air brakes in this. Okay. Too high. Way too high. This is what I did the other night. Way too high. Too low on the speed there. Too high. Okay. Drifted a bit. Okay, let's keep it straight, please. Okay. Okay, so drifted there to the left a little bit, lost concentration, because I think in my head I was thinking, blimey neck, you didn't drift off to the side of the runway on the approach. But yeah, that wasn't brilliant. Okay, that's interesting, that turbulence just around there. Set ourselves up for takeoff. How's the sound, guys? Is it still alright? A little bit of stuttering going on, which is interesting. Cheers, Chinook. Was there a recent update? I don't. So there's Burning Blue Design did an update for. They did a 2024 update for their scenery, which is what we're using. All of the scenery we're using today, airport-wise, is Burning Blue Design. But the glitch that was happening at Goodwood was nothing to do with their scenery. It was just some weird thing in the sim. There was something in the sim that meant when you got halfway down any of the runways, there was like quite a noticeable stutter. and I don't think anyone ever actually figured out what was causing it. I'm just coming down this right side of the runway just so we can peel it round before anyone thinks I've completely lost my marbles. You're not following the centre line. I am conscious also that I've got multiplayer on, so again I don't want to get in anyone's way. I'm trying to keep an eye out for anyone. Okay, let's spin around. Spin, spin, spin. Come on, girl. That's gentle. Come to a stop. Right, quick check. Yeah, props fully forward, mix is fully rich. Let's dial in some down trim. It's interesting, the manual says down trim. The old A2A Spit was down trim. But some model pilots, especially the Battle of Britain Memorial flight, will use a little bit tail up trim, which does give you a different experience. It might well be that it's safer, I'm not sure, but I've got so used to the nose down trim. Shut up and concentrate. Solent. This is where the Spitfires.com guys also fly from. Right, let's have come back on the RPM. Let's not break the old girl. There's Solent. Okay, we are now going to Compton, Abbas, which is a lovely place. And by Guy Ritchie, of course. Initially people wondered what he was going to do with it, but by all accounts he seems to be doing quite a good job. I mean, that's another example of the fantastic scenery. If I just open the hood, so we haven't got those canopy scratches, but the detail down there is insane. I don't know how well it comes across on the stream, but it never ceases to amaze me. Right, let's close that now. Quick check, come back on the boost a little bit, come back on the RPM. There we go, and some trim. Now we've just got a little cross-country jaunt. Lighting is amazing as well. This is live weather. Obviously it's not live time, but this is live weather, which is interesting at the moment because you get that mixture of you get some nice sunlight, a little bit of blue sky, but you get some moody clouds as well, especially at the moment. So it's interesting from a lighting point of view, and interesting also from a winds point of view, because as we saw just before, there was a little bit of turbulence coming into the ensemble there, which was interesting. So I'm just catching up on the chat. I thought I read there was a sim update with improved physics. I'm sure if this was... Yeah, there was the sim update 2 just recently, which has done a few interesting things. Do you have an amazing graphics card? I do now. I've got a 5090 now that I've had for a few weeks. Prior to that I had a 3080 Ti, so I kind of missed the gap. There's a good example of crazy tiling in the water, which is a bit rubbish. Yeah, I had a 3080 and I kind of jumped the 4 series cards. That just looks pants, doesn't it? Such a shame. Such a shame, and it's been something that's been going on in this sim, and I'm saying this sim as in the Asobo sim, since the early days. They just for some reason can't seem to get water. It doesn't happen everywhere, but you get water with those lines in it, which is it's crap, for want of a better word. Should really have found a better word, shouldn't I? Should have used the English language to its fullest extent. But there you go. It is what it is. Right. 70. Excuse me. Gram. It's looking good. Which is alright. It's one of the things you have to be really careful of in the Spit, is the temperatures. As I'm sure you know. You right, guy? Yeah, I know. I don't know what stage you joined, but I kept trying to I kept making a grab for the collective lever earlier on, which doesn't get you very far in a Spitfire. It just gives you something to hang on to. Yeah, it's nice, like I'm saying, it's nice flying in weather like this. Having the cloud like that just gives you an extra dimension. And I love how the light comes through the cloud, so in the distance you can just see that kind of dappled sunlight on the ground. It's very atmospheric. But we've just got into a dark section. I remember flying in VR in the first time in Flight Sim 2020. And I think how was I flying? It wasn't the Comanche because it was before that. I think it was a default Cessna or something. Just wanted to see what it was like. And I flew from an area of sun into an area of shade. And I felt, as crazy as that sounds, my eyes told my brain, oh, you've just gone into shade, it's going to be colder. And it was kind of, you felt it. Which is absolutely crazy, but do you know that down there almost looks like at one point that could have been an airfield, doesn't it? Oh yeah, look. I've never noticed that before. Where are we? Stony Cross. Yeah, cool. That's the kind of thing that I find mesmerising in this sim, is that you see. Obviously in helicopters it gives you a bit more flexibility, but you see something on the ground that just catches your eye and you can go and investigate it. But that's quite incredible. It's interesting how the land has kind of been reclaimed now. There isn't much of any tarmac or concrete left down there by the looks of it. Probably just a lot of weed. Right, let's crack on, because we've just climbed a little bit into the cloud, so we'll go below the cloud. Drop down. There we go. Just a little bit murky. Alright, guy. Cheers for that. We'll have a good day tomorrow with the real thing. It's interesting, isn't it? I always say that things do funny things as soon as I stream. I've done a fair bit of flying the last couple of days and I've not had much in the way of stutters. But all of a sudden I seem to be getting those pauses, which makes me wonder if it's just something to do with OBS running, or I wonder if it's a server thing. I should have my old performance thing up, because then you can usually tell if those stutters occur when there's a spike in the network. Got quite fast internet, so I know it's It's not going to be that now. Yeah, it's a fording bridge down there. Just make something out. Okay, so hopefully God's going to smile on us, and we're going to have hopefully Compton will be in that patch of sun that's ahead to make it a little bit easier. So Compton, nice grass runway, a little bit bumpy on the top of the hill. It is absolutely stunning little spot, so it'll be interesting to land on. Hey, oh, you live 15 minutes from Compton Abbas. Oh, fantastic. It is a beautiful, I've never been there in real life, I've flown there a lot in the sim, but it does look absolutely stunning. There's just something lovely about taking off on it as well, I think, because you're on top of the hill. Yeah, it's beautiful. Crazy really, I've done a lot of flying there and I've done a fair few videos there, but I've never actually been there in person. Okay, how are we all looking? We're just in a nice gentle cruise, not doing anything silly. Radiator flaps in the automatic position. Temperatures aren't too bad. Got the RPM nice and low, so that's helping with the oil temperature. Ragging the boost, so again radiator temperature is quite good. We're not far from Compton now. Now Compton, I'm fully expecting to strange cloud formation there, looks like a big wing of cloud, doesn't it? Compton I'm fully expecting to be more of a challenge, simply because of the visual cues aren't quite the same as somewhere like Solent, where we've just been, where you've got like a nice long asphalt runway. So it'll be interesting to see what this is like. And I think the runway is a little bit shorter. It is beautiful. Got my hands on the collector lever again. I'm not doing anything with it, but it's crazy thing, muscle memory, isn't it? Absolute crazy thing how you you get so used to something that you just don't think about it. I'll look outside. Okay, we're going to be there in a second, but lovely area. Okay, put that down, focus. So Compton is just over here. Pardon me, coughing in your ear. Right, quick winds check. Blimey, 17 knots. Dropping. Okay. So we're going to take this runway. We're going to do a run in and brake, but we are going to take this runway. But I was just looking at the wind. Stop touching the blooming collected lever. It's not going to do anything. Okay. So let's watch the speed. Come back a little bit. We don't want to go high like we did before. Not fully forward. Speed's nicely where we need it for the gear, so let's dangle the Dunlops. Keep an eye over there. feels a little bit low, but I'd rather be a little bit low than a little bit high after last time. Watching the speed. Checking gear is down. Let's there we go. Checking the speed. Speed's a bit low. This part of it anyway. Okay, let's have some flappage. Wind 13 knots. There's going to be a slight crosswind element to it, I think. Over a little bit to the right there. Okay. Hello, Compton. So we can now wang it round nicely over on the left-hand side of the runway so that we can just bring it back and set the flap up. There's nothing oils and Merlin quite like having your big flaps hanging down. So it's a quick flirt with Compton. Incredible scenery. Again, this is Burning Blue design. Wonderful place. It's a shame the sun isn't out on it, so you get a better idea of what's there. Something that is kind of cool with 2024, let me come back over here again, is that you leave tyre tracks. Look at that. Amazing. Now this is not a good moment for co-pilot cat to come and say hello. Sweetheart, you are more than welcome to watch, but do not jump on my lap, and certainly do not dig your claws in. Not sure what that would be simulating, but it is not required for the purpose of this training session. I've been quite lazy really. I should also be doing S-turns, but one of the great things about head tracking is that it helps. Just stick your head out. Okay, there we go. Whack around. Whew. It's lovely flying here in the evening in the sim. It's just, you can just almost imagine, sort of coming here and you know, having a drink with friends, obviously after you've flown. But yeah, quite beautiful. Okay, let's get some trim. Down trim. Okay. Mixture is fully rich, proximally forwards. That's all good. Temperatures are fine. That's all good. That's all good. Okay. Quick check of the wind. 8 knots from 257, so that's not too bad. Stick back into the right. And let's have some power. Slowly increase the sense of the stick. Move from the wind. Back on the prop. Douche. Come on, fix spot. There it is. Okay, let's go and have another look at Compton because it's just so damn beautiful. It deserves it. A very lucky chap aid Compton is just one of those absolute gems that we have in this country. A nice little touch that they've actually got the Spit, they've got the Harvard, and they've got the Stearman in there as well in the scenery. Okie doke, right, now on to Popham. One of those nasty pauses. Muzzy, Comanche landed, now time to teleport to New Zealand, Scotland, and trying to learn the EGHR again. It is, you are so right. I'm to the opposite thing though. I spent so much time in the H145 and the Huey and the Llama recently that I'm having to relearn the Spitfire again. But the Spit really is, it's one of those aircraft in the sim that I always just get such a smile on my face when I load into it and start flying. It's a beautiful aeroplane, it really is. Great to look at, but also really nice to fly as well. Okay, right, so that's good. We are on the right track to Popham now. Just a bit of trim, look down, temperatures are good, oil pressure's good. With the speed, we're just doing a nice gentle cruise. I'm back on the RPM just a little bit. Cruise at 2000. The Mark 1A used to cruise that at 1800 RPM. It was boost to 1800 RPM, so this is quite respectable in the Mark 9. We're definitely getting some stutters, aren't we? I would be interested in that server side. I've got a feeling it might be. I don't want to break the stream by doing anything, but I was going to get Task Manager up and have the, the performance graphs, because sometimes it's quite interesting to see when those stutters happen. It's because it's just loading in a bit of scenery, or loading in something. Maybe because it's a Friday night, the server's getting hammered. Mind you, not many people seem to be flying in 2024. I don't know if you've noticed wherever you fly, but 2024 multiplayer doesn't seem to be as lively as 2020. I've jumped in there into 2020 just recently to go to Duxford, and was quite amazed at how busy it was. I think people are just they're just sticking with 2020 until until they're happy things are getting fixed. I'm really excited to see what flying I do with the 2024 native version of the Spit though. It will be interesting. It will be interesting. I've not read any of the hype or anything like that, so I don't know. I don't necessarily know what's in there, but it'd be kind of cool if they're doing like walk-arounds and maybe made some tweaks to the flight model. It already seems to fly nicer in 2024. In 2020, it always felt like at low level there was a lot of the turbulence affected it in quite a violent and unusual way. But I've not noticed that so much in 2024, so that seems to be something that's improved a little bit. It's coming up to Salisbury, which is in the murk. I know that we did have, of course this is live, isn't it? I was going to say it's not historical, so this is what's happening now. So if you live in Salisbury, this is what you're seeing, isn't it? I assume so. The Salisbury Cathedral. Let's get back on track, get distracted. Just insane. Keep saying it, but it's true. curiosity has got to me. So this is either going to end the stream in a very unnatural way, or it might work. So bear with. Just gonna keep an eye on that. See what coincides with those stutters. Need to have that back. There we go. Everything's fine. The stream's still running. Nothing got broke. We can see next time one of those things kicks in what it is. Well, it certainly makes some moody lighting. This Merc. I've had, I think more so yesterday, we had some Roche Court New Art Centre. I think that's a pig farm there. We had a bit of thunderstorms going on yesterday. Okay, it seems to be behaving itself at the moment. How's the sound in the chat? Can you hear the engine? I would be mortified if it's just my voice coming through. I'd like to think you can soak up the engine vibes. Cool. Thank you, Chinook. I guess the other thing I've done is actually I'm in not in DLSS mode, I'm in TAA mode. It's Middle Wallet, which is the home of Army Aviation. Could do with some really good third-party scenery for that. It's a crying shame that we've just got Autogen there. That would be really cool to have a nice Middle Wallet. Hopefully one day Nick B007 will do it. He's done some really great RAF bases, including Lossiemouth that I fly out of quite a lot. It'd be great if one day he does Middle Wallet. Cheers Muzzy, thank you for that mate, it's good to know. Good to know. Because sometimes the settings on OBS tend to stay the same, but if anything else changes the sim. There we go, getting a bit stuttering there. Not seeing anything obvious right there. Should actually really, flying the Spit, should really have it on DLSS. I tend to have it on TAA for the H145 just because the Helionics glass cockpit system works so much better in terms of visually with TAA. You don't get ghosting that you do with DLSS, but in something like the Spit, DLSS will be absolutely fine. I don't know if that's what it is. I can definitely see on the it's downloading in kind of spikes every now and again, so it must be loading into some scenery. I might actually, if I remember, so I'm kind of talking to myself here, so bear with me. I might just thinking my rolling cache is quite big, and I know sometimes when your rolling cache gets full that can happen, but I only did that a couple of days ago, so I wouldn't have thought I'd have filled that up. Mind you, I've been flying in quite a few places, so maybe that's it. Maybe I give that an empty. Right, there was a spike. Yeah, so that pause then coincides with a huge spike from the download, so it's obviously grabbing data every now and again. Did you clear your cache after the last update? Yes, you do. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I cleared everything. Cleared DX shaders, cleared the rolling cache. I tend to clear the rolling cache at least once a week or once every 2 weeks. There was another pause. Okay, that time there wasn't a spike on the Ethernet. God, I just realised coming up on Popham, I'm so busy looking at the graphs and things. How boring. Hello, use auto FPS when it's so good with too much flight, but you know that. Yeah, I've kind of decided not to use it. Maybe don't overthink, follow this bit. Maybe I have got the wrong idea of it, but I kind of, because I've got the 5090 now, I don't want anything that's going to lower my settings. You know, make automatic adjustments to my graphics settings to lower them, which I know is probably not the right attitude. Let's get rid of this. And I don't know a huge amount about it. I've obviously been told about it, and I have heard about it, and maybe I've got it wrong, but yeah, I don't want anything that's suddenly going to lower any of my settings, if that makes any sense. Yeah, I rarely fly above 5,000 feet, manic. Not, I certainly don't do the whole. I can imagine if you're flying Airbuses and that sort of thing, it probably makes it's probably quite cool. But for the kind of flying I do, it's not quite the same. Right, wind 11 knots from that direction, so I'm going to come right up. Have you got terrain, shadows, and ultra? Yeah, I think the thing is, Chinook, it's I was just saying earlier on, it's been absolutely fine. It's just on this stream, for some reason it just avoiding the garage there. You get told off if you fly over that. For some reason there's something going on this evening. There was another one. Oh, I can't see the graph now because I hit it. So we'll just do a run-in and break here. You have to be get told off if you fly over the garage there, so we'll ignore that. Okay, right, let's concentrate again. Okay, so prop fully forward. There's the speed, there's the runway. Do need to try and avoid the garage, which does add to the fun somewhat. Just angle the Dunlops. Far out. I think I'm so focused on avoiding the garage and coming in at an angle that I probably overcooked that a little bit. Watching the speed. There's the garage. Don't fly over the garage. Don't fly over the garage. Right, flappage. A bit high. Don't fly over the garage. Way too high. Absolutely bloody awful. Take away his pilot license. It's not a long runway. Absolutely awful. Absolutely awful. I'm going to run off the end of the runway if we're not careful. Okay, let's stick back and brake, 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 brake. Oh! Zoota bleeding laws. Well, at least we didn't fly over the garage, eh? I actually, I don't mind admitting this because I think it's quite interesting. As we all know, flight simulator is one of those hobbies that attracts people who can get quite irate if things aren't done properly. And maybe sometimes think that people are YouTubers because they think they know it all and they've come to show you how it's done, and in my case that's certainly not the case. This is more about, I'm just a flight sim nut. I enjoy doing it. I'm not a technical expert, and I for some reason like making videos and things and sharing it. But when I made the Popham video, Popham review video when it was first released with Burning Blue design. I should say again, this is yet another Burning Blue design airfield. It's beautiful, isn't it? When I made that video, someone, and I can only imagine it's either, well, I don't know. I'm not going to. It would be wrong of me to guess. Someone put a comment on it in the video saying, please, under no circumstances, follow the same approach procedures as demonstrated in this video when you're visiting Popham. And I thought, right, well, that's me told off. But also I thought it was quite interesting that someone thought that people would be influenced by someone flying in a flight sim video, like a real world pilot would be influenced by it. And then I thought, well, I don't think they would be. Oh, there's Starbucks or coffee. I don't think they would be influenced by it, but I guess it's spreading misinformation, isn't it? Right, here we go. Let's line it back up. Okay, quick checks. Temperatures are good, that's all good. Let's get some down trim. Mixture's fully rich and propeller's fully forward. Quick look down there, we haven't done anything silly. No, good. Stick back to the right. Some power. Release. Straighten up. Well, with that dip in the runway, gear up, that felt a little bit like an aircraft carrier launch. Okay, back on the RPM. A bit of turbulence there as we went over the fields. Okay, somewhere over there actually, I don't know if you can see it, not looked, but there's actually an arrow in the ground that points in the direction if you're doing the approach from the other side. That's it. Close. Anyway, right. Well, we're going back to Goodwood. Is Biggin Hill far away to land at? Not really. Not in a Spitfire. Probably a bit too far for the stream. I think you would definitely be tired of my waffle if we went over that way. But that's another one of the great things about the Spit actually, is that you can, because she's fairly rapid, you can do some good touring. That's the M3. Wonderful elliptical wing. Wow. Now, what on earth went on in that field there? Do you think the farmer had a bit of a bit too much scrumpy? That's crazy, isn't it? Maybe that was Combine Harvester Training Class 101 that day. That's what I love about this sim. You see some little details, and it's just like, it's so interesting to fly over. It makes any kind of A to B flying much more interesting than generic tiles. It's amazing actually, isn't it? The progression of flight sims. I think you're right, Chinook. The progression of flight sims, how you know, I remember flying things like well, FSX, P3D. God, going back to Silent Flight Simulator in the 80s, but that's probably a bit extreme. But going back to something like FSX, or maybe you know, P3D pre-Orbex photo scenery, where you've just got kind of generic texture tiles conforming to a vector map, but you're still immersed in it, you're still in it, you're still flying over it, and then you get something like this where it's so realistic. And probably like you, I don't know, but this is the first sim that I've had, and I'm counting 2020 as well, where I've posted pictures before and people have actually thought they're real. And I actually had, and I won't mention any names, but I actually had one quite well known aviation institution and site. I posted a screenshot flying over in the Spitfire, you know, that kind of classic across the wing, looking down the wing at their buildings, and they messaged me and asked me could I give them permission to use it in their marketing. And I thought it's lovely that they like it that much, but I wonder if they realise it's from a flight sim. So I did message them and say, that's, you know, I've absolutely got no problem at all. You don't even have to credit me or anything like that. You're more than welcome to use it. Because of who they were, I was more than happy to help. But just to explain, this isn't real. This is a screenshot from a flight simulator. I never replied. I can almost imagine they were either a little bit embarrassed or thought, oh, we're talking to some gamer. Hello. Oh, that's interesting. So we have a Mark 9, closely followed by our friend Levitating Johnson. He's well known on the Warbird circuit. He doesn't need an aircraft. He just he kind of, if you see, he puts his legs out like that, and then he does a bit of meditation, and he can fly in perfect formation. He's good, isn't he? Look, he's not even losing any spot on the tail of that spit. So, who is that? I'm gonna, if I put the oh my lord, Chico Mick. I should have guessed if I had the quality of the formation flying. Are you in the I don't even know if he'll be in the stream. He's probably just flying along. That is Chico Mick, and if you it doesn't really need an introduction, but that is the chap who gave us the fantastic Duxford in Microsoft Flight Simulator. The man himself. There we go, bit of a wing waggle. He's very good at flying formation, I have to say. Very good. I don't even know if he realises he's on a stream. This is the kind of thing he does. You're flying along and he just appears there. And his formation flying really is so good. And Levitating Johnson is just... look at that. Still showing his prowess. No damns given there. Right, we're coming up to Goodwood now. Goodwood will be on the nose. I've forgotten to set up my key assignment to take screenshots of my trigger button. That's a shame. nothing quite like flying along with another warbird, which is a good time to say there's Goodwood down there. Oh yes, you're right. Right, sorry Mick, I don't think you're in the chat, but I've got to take my hand off the stick while I type this. Type. Yeah, there's a Discord, and I put the link in the there. Every now and again we do group flights, and we're kind of on a warbird tour. Right, you wanted to see the cars, didn't you? So let's see if we can see some cars. I don't know what stage with the LOD in this sim. In 2020 things appeared in the sim a lot further out, but in this one you seem to have to get quite close. Let's see if we can see anything. I'm surprised I'm not seeing anything. Oh, come back. Oh, there we go. There we go. Right. Tally-ho. Can you see it? Whoa! Target fixation. Let's carry on down here. There's also, I don't know if he'll be there. There's also sometimes a car on the skid pan. Today. Watch the speed, I'm flying ever so slow. Right, there's our another car. See that? Hopefully, there's another one. There's another one, look. Hopefully you can see that, swimming club. Right. Don't you start stuttering now. So, wind is as it was before from the same direction, and it's now 18 knots. 18 knots. Yeah, it's lovely scenery. The detail is it's quite beautiful. Right, there's the runway. It's horrible stuttering there. I definitely need to clear my cache again. Alright. No, let's not have the do a run in and brake again. Because I'm not set up properly. A lot of landing in the Warbird is setting it up right. Oh, I run out of fuel. That's embarrassing. Okay. We're now going to do a special technique that was pioneered in World War II, and that was air-to-air refueling. There you go. Excellent. It's amazing how much fuel she drinks when you're having fun. Okay, so now we can do a run in and brake. Let's get rid of the menu bar because that's horrible. Come back round. So bearing in mind, and this will be interesting, we had that on Takeoff, we had that kind of trademark Goodwood, and I'll say it again, it's nothing to do with Burning Blue design scenery. It's something about this spot is it's like a Bermuda Triangle where there's a some kind of a weird pause that goes on. So it'll be interesting to see if we get that on the run in and brake, but also on the landing. On the landing, of course, it's going to be a complete pain in the arse, because any kind of stutter or pause when you're landing is not desired. There we go. So we're not over-egging it. RPM is still quite low really, but we're not going to be doing any aerobatics as such. sock. So, oh, there it is. There it is. You saw it. You saw it. Oh my God, it's still there. And that means that landing is going to hit us right in the face. Okay. Throttle back. Pop fully forward. We're too high. Too high. It's always that tendency after running a brake to do that graceful kind of up into the sky, but then you can end up being a little bit on the high side. Right, dangle the Dunlops. Say hello to the little piggies down there. Watch the speed. Concentrate, concentrate, concentrate. There's the runway, a little bit high, down with the flappage, speed is high, we are high, so let's correct that. Drifting, here's some speed, gently, gently. There's that pause. You monkey. Did you see that? Luckily the pause happened, concentrate a second. There we go. Let's bring it to a fruitful stop. Luckily that pause happened after we touched down. What you don't want is for that to happen while you're actually flying on approach, because it can be really painful. Right, let's just open the radiator flap manual, then taxi it back in. I think there he is, the legend. Mick hasn't. I honestly don't think Mick has any idea on streaming. But it's always a bit of an honour when he turns up. So let's just, I'm just skimming the edge of the runway, and then we can tune over here. So note to self, tomorrow I'm going to try use DLSS, see if that smooths things out a bit. Because with the TAA at these really detailed, I must admit I have pretty much everything on full whack apart from the fauna, which I've got rid of because that causes issues. But the two things I need to check, and again I'm talking to myself here, is clear the rolling cache again, and let's try DLSS and see if that's a bit smoother. Okay, so where is Mick? He's not that side, that's good, so I'm going to do a turn. So this time we'll park in front. Hello chaps, I brought it back in one piece. There we go. Okay, we're down. Let's have parking brake on. Oh, let's drop it off a bit. Clear the clears the plugs. Okay, close down. Flags off. Ah, blooming marvellous. Look at that. Look at that. Lovely jubbly. Evening, Mick. I'll have to message him and say your excellent formation flying was on stream. You see, that's what I'm talking about there. You see those marks in the ground. How cool is that? I know it's a little thing. I know it's a little thing, but I just think it makes a difference. It's all about immersion, isn't it? And there is the good old Goodwood hangar. There is a video on, if you're at all interested, and this isn't a plug for well, it is a plug for Spitfires.com, but last year I went there and flew alongside Gilda. I flew alongside in the Skyvan, which I don't think is in this scenery yet. So if you want to see that in, you know, the real Spitfires.com hangar, if I remember, I'll try and put a link on the video for people that are watching this recorded version. And there's some air-to-air stuff in there as well, which was really rather nice. Yeah, all good. They are wonderful things to fly, these. They really are. And I'm glad I did the practice. And I know I've got to do more warbird videos. You know, the word warbird is in the logo. So I'm just looking here because co-pilot Cat is standing there staring at me. It's a bit unnerving. I've got a feeling I'm about to have a load of critique and debriefing going on after this. Anyway, I'm waffling. But yeah, I do need to do more warbird stuff. It is where the channel kind of came from. I've just got addicted to helicopters, but I need to somehow find some balance. And I think this is the first warbird live stream that I've done, but it won't be the last. I can tell you that. Mick has gone. Thank you, Mick. It was good having you along. Yeah, it's just finding the right balance, isn't it? But my God, helicopters are fun. But then so is a lovely warbird like this. And when Flying Iron do the 2024 bespoke version or the native version, that's going to be absolutely great. Anyway, let's just hop outside and just have one last look at that idiot. Left his flaps down. Yeah, that's something you don't want to do because that puts the temperature up. Oh, she's lovely. Absolutely beautiful. Anyway, it's been an absolute pleasure having you along on the stream. Thanks for everyone that joined in the chat. Quick catch up on that. One thing is awesome scenographics. I haven't seen many people flying the Southeast Asia tropics. There are so many nice places in Thailand, including temples. Yeah, that's true actually. I mean, the beauty about this sim is that, without sounding cheesy, the world really is your oyster. And there's so many places that you can go to. Yeah, I think it's and the diversity of scenery as well. I did a video yesterday on Clifford Design's new Bora Bora, and just flying over those coral reefs and the water, and it's so different to this kind of green patchwork England, but we get to do that in the sim, and we get to try all these different places. So yeah, it's cool. It's not a bad hobby, is it? It's not a bad hobby. I once had a very wealthy woman say to me, why don't you just fly real Spitfires instead of flying it on a computer? And I kind of said to her, well, I've done it once, but it's about $2,500 a pop, so that's probably why. So to get to do it in the sim in something as beautiful as this is really nice. Anyway, thanks ever so much for joining. It's been an absolute pleasure having you along. I won't take up any more of your time, and I shall see you again on the channel soon. Take care now. Bye bye.